This fund was launched in 2019, sponsored by FCDO. It's a 4-year program, 5 million sterling, that is intended to identify, select and support businesses with innovative solutions that can lead to exponential job and livelihood growth.
So Somo Academy, that is where we identify entrepreneurs in low-income community and then take them through training. So we have 2 types of training under Somo Academy, and one we have the Buruka na Somo program, and then we also have Boost Biz. So Buruka na Somo program, that one is designed to be able to, it's 12-week programs which the entrepreneurs are taught how to create the business plans, work on their financial documents, and also present at the end of the 6th week and also the 12th week. And then so that is designed for at least people who can be able to sit in a class and be able to take that formal kind of learning.
The focus from a sector standpoint covers ag, manufacturing, also the informal sector, and also intending to benefit youth, women, others in marginalized communities, and as part of this, to also extend beyond Nairobi, which we all know this is such a center, but how do we engage other parts of the country?
Through KCJF, we invested in 2 things: a route optimization tool so we can look at somebody's bookings and identify what's serviceable, what's not, identify gaps in their book of business, and help supplement that demand to ensure that that finance tractor stays busy throughout the year. As you know, agriculture is a very seasonal industry, right? But the benefit of being in the tropics is that places like Kenya have 4 or 5 unique agroecological zones, which means that you have 4 or 5 locations where farmers plant at unique times of the year. So as long as you're willing to take that tractor into those agroecological zones, which if you're profit maximizing, you do, you can maximize the revenue that the tractor generates and of course earn enough to repay that loan on time. We invested heavily in growing that network of booking agents. These are young entrepreneurs who, with a smartphone, now have a job opportunity, and they're going out and meeting with farmers in their community, booking those farmers, ensuring that all those farmers' details are in the app, plot boundaries, primary, secondary crop, farmer name, phone number. And some of those booking agents have already graduated to a level where they themselves can become tractor owners, and we've started to finance them.
Almost 1 million of us come out of our universities and our institutions of learning, of our young people. And when we come out into a world where only 1/3 of us will go into formal employment. And 90% of the jobs that will come out will be jobs in the informal sector. So those are jobs that we ourselves will have to create because there is no one out there to give us jobs. The whole issue of youth unemployment is real. And as the UK government, this is a reality, and we wanted to work very closely with the Kenya government to just see, even in the smallest ways, how can we address that gap and how can we address that challenge that was facing the Kenyan youth who are more than willing to do something with what they've got. But if we don't give them opportunities, that becomes an issue of insecurity.
Through this project, which started early last year, here are some of the insights that we were able to find from the engagement that learners had with the content on Arifu's platform. So for 81% of the respondents in Kenya and 61% of respondents in Nigeria, most of them said that they hadn't found an alternative to digital education to what Arifu was providing. And this has been observed in 80 to 86% of different projects that we've had with different partners. So this just shows that there's that gap in digital learning, and more needs to be done in terms of, having more platforms where more people can engage with this content.
Look at Kenya, you see a country with a lot of young people, a lot of entrepreneurial talent, and very youthful, and they can't always get access to formal jobs that they want. And what this program does, and others, is it helps them by investing in them, so giving them technical advice as an entrepreneur, also supporting their firm financially to use a digital solution to whatever product that they're facing. So for example, Tencent's an agricultural firm. They're looking at macadamia nuts, they're looking at cashew nuts, they're looking at avocados. And what they do is they go out and they work with smallholders all across, particularly the coastal region. So, you know, not a well-off place, but they work with all these smallholders and they pull them into the market so that then smallholder can sell. And you're seeing increase in revenues for the farmer of about 30%. You're seeing an increase in the market overall, and you're seeing jobs created, tens and tens of thousands of these smallholders brought into the marketplace. That's an amazing achievement in just a few years.
We can now track our seedlings with the farmers, and that's our next phase with the app, to be able to now have that product available for carbon market. And that's critical for us and as an opportunity. To the farmer side, our farmers can order seedlings on the app. To the processing side, our production guys can predict how much stock is available in the field and plan accordingly. To our sales team, we can predict how much product is in the field and give traceability, which is much needed in our market. Some of the farmers we've worked with now 30,000, and when I say 30,000, I give you the app and you check. You go and find, we have a GPS location for the farmer. You click on it, you see the number of trees. You click on it, it shows the dealings we've had with them. Efficiency has increased, more jobs. This month we are hiring 600 more in Kilifi for our factory, in addition to the 450 we have in our macadamia value chain. More crops, the same app. We buy cashew, we buy dried fruit with it, we buy avocado, mangoes, and macadamia on the same app. And all of it reconciles differently. Before KCJF, we struggled a lot on how to reconcile because we were using WhatsApp. You can imagine how many WhatsApp transactions that come in the day in the accounts office. So they used to stay the night in the accounts office. Now the app can reconcile itself. We have a digital handshake between the field officer and his supervisor. If there's a short more than 1%, the app locks you out. If you've reached the limit, we give a limit to each field officer. If you're new, you start at 50,000 a day, what you can spend. For the more experienced one, we give you maybe 150,000. But each day we collect that product and get it to the central store. In 48 hours, that product should be in our factory. And that has helped us build efficiency.
Looking at partnerships with government specifically, we have a few ideas around, for example, capacity building for retail merchants. And this is really around financial literacy and good business practices. And here we looked at a partnership, for example, with NITA, which would allow us to develop a curriculum, but also deliver it through our digital retail platforms. The second one is partnership around increasing revenue opportunities for these retailers. And we can look at them as agents who are able to collect payments on behalf of government and government agents. So looking at KRA payments, county government levies, and taxes, all these could be collected through this network of agents and allowing them to be able to get extra revenue through this. We are also looking at access to affordable capital. And specifically, for example, we could partner with the Youth Fund and deliver some of this capital specifically for this segment of retailers, where we are able to sort of credit score them, deliver the capital and make sure it's used for the purposes of growing their businesses.
So this is the catalytic journey of our entrepreneur. So she might come to us where she already has a shop potentially, but we've also had a number of women come to us who say, hey, I want to get started. I want to start my business. Where do I start? How much money do I need? What products do I buy? So she's starting here with us, and typically she's maybe earning $200, $300 a month. So that's around 25 to $50K a month is kind of like her starting point. Already when she starts working with us, we're able to drop the price of her goods, which means she's increasing her income by about 30% already. When we add in a layer of buy now, pay later, she's now able to double her order value and basically double her income. So already her business grows just by doing about 3 to 5 transactions with us. We now evaluate her for credit and we enable her to use the buy now, pay later product. And then the third level, which we are pushing towards right now, is bringing her onto a digital app where she can then sell through social media, sell through her own website, sell through WhatsApp, and that opens up multiple selling channels for her. So now she doesn't just have her own physical shop and she's selling to physical customers. Now she can sell digitally through multiple different channels.
Our presence here, of course, is in endorsement of the support that we get from partners to make that happen. You know, in an innovation system, you have different players. And, you know, our job is to try and make sure those players do their bit effectively. And at the end of the day, it's about a consumer who gets a product or a service that sorts out their problem or their gaps or their pain points and so on and so forth. And as you can see, some of the startups that have presented their ideas, you can tell that they are user-based, they are customer-based. They truly spend time to understand the pain point of a consumer, and then they iterate in figuring out the most appropriate solution until they move towards a particular product, and then they begin to scale. Part of our, you know, what we enjoy about this relationship is that, you know, some of the challenges we face around is funding to allow you to pilot and test and iterate until you get something out. Because sometimes the ideas you have might not necessarily work in round one, and you have to tweak it. And you have to have a good runway of resources to enable you to pivot and iterate if you must. And this partnership has kind of like supported that element. And as a government agency, of course, we have accommodated other partners, not only the UK government, but definitely the UK government has been very strong in supporting this movement. And we are seeing more and more of that kind of you know, startups growing as a result of this relationship. We run a national innovation forum, which is called the Kenya National Innovation Week, which happens later in the year. Last year we did between 6th and the 10th of December. This year we'll do between the 8th and the 10th of November. For us, it's a climax. It's where we pull all these efforts that we have that run the entire year, and we're going to get a pool of lots and lots of startups that are creating meaningful solutions, both locally and internationally. And in the process, we attract more partners, more funders, more investors, more customers, and so on and so forth.
I like this because it was evidence-based. We've gone to see these innovators, we've been showcased what it is that they're doing, and we can say they're doing great things. And my colleagues from the government agencies, Richard and Dr. Wansa, you can confirm that their asks or what it is that they've been asking for, those are doable things, isn't that so? Those are things which, you know, if you're put directly in touch with the government agencies, you should be able to overcome those hurdles. I like the fact that we spoke about collaborative values. It's very, very important because we work in silos. And for those who try to reach the government, you'll realize that it's only effective if you speak in one voice. For example, you know, the innovators we had in this room, should you go together as a voice to Dr. Omwansa, you have more power, and he has no reason not to answer you.